Hey, welcome in this beautiful server. I'm going to show you how this server works exactly and how Discord works and what all the functions of it is. So you've just joined the server and now you see the welcome message. First of all, you have the starting guide. And this is where you can see how we do things around here. So we play Catan, you can play whenever you want, etc, etc. What channels to use to play a game. As you can see here, for example, we use the add participants tag to notify other players. And it also explains what happens if you've won a game, for example. What do you need to do? You post a screenshot in the screenshot chat. I will cover that later. And you upload your results here. It also explains how the tournament works in basics. So for example, if you win, you gain copper. If you lose some copper. If you win a 4-player base game, you gain playoff points, which can allow you to qualify for the playoffs at the end of the season if you make it to the top 16. If you need some help or if you would like to have some questions answered, then you can ask some of these players. Feel free to ask anyone here on this list. I've asked them specifically to be listed here. Next up is the server rules. These are pretty basic rules. If you get into trouble, please read them or read them before so you don't get into trouble. We move on to the top where we see the participants chat room. This is a chat room where we just talk and have fun. Sometimes players use it to host games, but it's not intended for that basically. We also have the tournament talk where we talk about what tournaments are coming up, like the in real life tournaments. The games are hosted here in copper games, 4-player base games and rival games. You use the 4-player base games to host the games that count for the playoffs. You use rival games for Rivals of Catan. So like that's the card game. And you use the copper games channel for every other game mode. You can do so, by the way, by tagging add participants who'd like to play a game. Then you tag that out, you just wait for a couple of players to respond, and then you start the game on Catan Universe. You add each other and you go. If you've won that game, you go to the screenshot chat, and this is where you drop the screenshot of, it just counts as evidence, the results that get submitted, as you can see in the starting guide, with this form. The results that get submitted here with the results KOC form are the main thing I look at when rewarding copper and playoff points. Okay, next up is the strategy discussion. This is where we talk about different strategies, like someone posts a board, then he says what to do here, and players give their feedback. Simple as that. This is a new channel. It's the commands channel, and this is how it works. You see, we have a couple of different roles for each, like different tag and different role. Like for example, if you like playing rivals, you get the do rivals role and do add rival. Get the add rivals tag. This is for the dragons, enchanted land. Expansionist is for it was kind of an older tag, but it's basically everything besides the base game. Pirates is for seafarers. Citizens is for cities and nice games. The Sapa Inca for Rise of the Inca. Canelians for Great Canal. And the Settlers for the base game. So I can show you how it works. So if you want the Settlers tag, for example, you do this, the Settlers role. You post it and press enter, and then if the Me6 bot gives you the text, then you have the role now, as you can see here. Like I have all these roles now and also have settlers. Currently we still use the participants role, but in the near future we will start removing the participants role and use these individual roles to usually when I wake up I have around 50-60 notifications, so we're trying to tone them down a little bit. Okay, here we have the voice channels. You can join them when you play a match, for example. I recommend using the voice channel. It adds a lot of fun to the game and a lot of different aspects than when you're playing online. Not everyone likes using them, but some players do. Here we have the videos tab. This is where King of Catan related videos are posted. Next up is the live streams tab. If someone wants to live stream, for example Hustle, and he live streams King of Catan, then feel free to share that. Community initiatives. We have a lot of people who take initiative in the community. Like for example, if someone gets the king, the crown, like he becomes king or queen of Catan, then you can post it here or make something funny about it. I don't know. Feel free to take initiative here. This is in my opinion, really an important channel, and you should read this fully in my in my humble opinion. This is where all the changes and like rules get explained in a better way than like the intentions of the rule get explained. So you'll understand better why a certain rule is here and why it was a problem in the past, and I think that helps you better understand why the tournament is working as it is. Here we have the rankings channel, where you can see the somewhat up-to-date playoff rankings and the barely up-to-date copper rankings. And also the tiebreakers and additional tournament regulations, where you can see all the rules for currently season 5. Feel free to check them out, or just play and see what happens. This is the Council of Catan channel, and here you can post IDs for whatever you want to have in the King of Catan community, and the Council of Catan, which are myself and 5 people who help me hosting this tournament, or basically they give me advice on what to do. We'll look at it and try to implement it if we think it adds value to the tournament. Here we have something cool. This was an idea of Jin, the Hall of Kings and Queens, where you can see whoever was king. Let's check my reign, for example. I was the first King of Catan, and I have 7 reigns, and in those 7 reigns I've won 6 games for the crown. Here you can see the match history of the playoffs, and you can see all matches here. They get published once the videos have been uploaded to YouTube. As you can see here, I'm quite behind our schedule. Here you can see the record books. Necton is updating this. Thank you, Necton. Okay, how to mute a certain channel. Like for example, you don't like the commands channel, although the texts are quite funny in my opinion. You can mute them, for example, by right clicking them and click it's in English. Here is mute. For me it's damp because I'm Dutch. And then you do mute. If you go to another tab, you see this channel doesn't have the white color anymore, but the same color as the background. You can still visit it, but it's muted now. If you want to mute the entire server, I don't recommend it, but it's possible. Like for example, we mute the Catan Universe server, then you do the basically same thing, and you go to server muted or muted server, whatever. And now this one is muted as well. It still has the same color, but messages don't pop up, as well as notifications. One thing I'd like to tell as well is how to become King or Queen of Catan. You check who is the current King of Queen, and that's currently someone with the red or the orange color. And I see here Rockstar is currently the Queen of Catan. And you can get the crown by challenging her to a game. It doesn't matter whatever game it is, a game mode it is. Like for example, we play a 4-player base game, and you say, I want to play for the crown. Others go for it as well, and she has to accept, and then you win the game, and then you have the crown. It's pretty easy as that, but difficult to execute. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know in the DMs or somewhere in the channels. I prefer DMs because otherwise I have to check all messages. Bye.